All right, topic number 3, Lauren.
Okay.
This was a thought that I had the other day. Back when I feel like back when I used to watch wrestling, like 1999, 2000, early 2000s, it always felt like wrestling was less predictable. I always felt like and maybe that was just because I was younger and I wasn't able to follow kind of the patterns, but it always felt like at any time someone else could be champion. And right now in professional wrestling, I feel like there's kind of a hierarchy. You start to see the light of like who's next in line to become the world champion. Question I wanted to ask to you. You're put in charge of booking, okay, right? They call you up, level up, Lauren. We need you to come down here. Whoever's booking, they're gone. They ran away. We need you to book for the next 6 months, and we need something wild to happen. If you could just right now strap a rocket on 1 or 2 or 3 wrestlers and make them a world champion or give them a boost, what would you do out of the blue? What wrestler are you strapping the rocket to?
Oh, so my initial reaction was to make Sami Zayn the champion, right? Okay. But then I thought, why do I like Sami Zayn, right? I like him because I always feel like he's having to work towards something and he's always doing something. And it kind of reminds me of like Bianca Belair, right? My whole love and like for them was them working towards it. And what if once he gets it, he becomes stagnant? So
that was a question I was just about to ask you, because this is a fear I have with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's great in this build up to Elimination Chamber into WrestleMania, and it's been kind of a fun ride, and everybody, you hear kind of the internet murmur that like he should beat Roman Reigns and they should put the belt on him. The question I was going to ask you is, how do you keep that momentum going forward with someone like Sami Zayn once he's the champion? Once he's no longer the underdog, you're strapping the rocket to him. How do you book him for, let's just say it's Backlash again. Let's say it's Extreme Rules. Let's say it's SummerSlam. What are you doing to keep him relevant?
I mean, I honestly don't know. If they knew, then they would have already done it with Bianca. It's why she kind of lost her like luster to me, right? So then my second one went into, which somebody for who me, I know that a lot of people love him, right, is Kevin Owens. I always feel like Kevin Owens kind of gets the short end of the stick. Like he's right there, but then he doesn't go all the way.
Yeah, I think the belief is there's something that Vince McMahon doesn't like about Kevin Owens. Has to be, right? Because I'm with you. That's not my choice, but I'm with you on like, it feels like Kevin Owens is past due. So this is, and we throw these comparisons around all the time, but I think it feels like to me, Kevin Owens is the closest thing as far as like the crowd reaction to Stone Cold that we've had in a long time. Mm-hmm. He's just kind of reckless. He screams like he's got the same energy. And so it feels to me like he's overdue for a title run. He's overdue for that big. And I think that's coming. I do. I think with Triple H, that's coming. I think that, unfortunately, this is the hierarchy I'm talking about, right? We're under the assumption that it's Roman Reigns right now. Mm-hmm. And then the next guy up is Cody Rhodes. And that's why we said, like me and you said, we liked the Royal Rumble. We enjoyed the Royal Rumble. There's a lot of people who I saw that watched it on TV and that I talked to that said it was way too predictable. Mm-hmm. Well, when you're in the stands, I can tell you, you don't give a shit.
I mean, honestly, I didn't watch half of the wrestling because like as soon as we got up, then it was time to sit down.
It was whoever was coming out next.
Like, okay, let's go. Let's watch them walk down the aisle. That was the fun part.
Yeah, it's a spectacle. I agree. I don't remember much of what happened in the ring. So anybody who says that it was predictable, it probably was. And Cody Rhodes winning was predictable. But that's what I'm talking about, the kind of next man up mentality that we kind of know the hierarchy. And I say this is what I talk about in AEW all the time as well, right? Mm-hmm. AEW, you can always kind of see the hierarchy playing out. It's why I'm confident when I tell people that Darby Allin is not going to be world champion in the next 3 years, because I see the hierarchy, right? Mm-hmm. Right now it's MJF and he's going to hold it for a while. And then it's going to go back to either Moxley or Jericho or Hangman, one of those guys who are in line for the title. And then in the waiting, you have guys like Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson who are going to need a run with it at some point. So you can see the hierarchy. Whereas it would probably be more exciting if Darby Allin just out of the fucking blue won the world championship.
Yeah.
And same with WWE. So you're saying Kevin Owens, you're saying Sami Zayn. Is that it? Was that your
list? So Kevin Owens is the guy that I would strap the rocket to because I feel like, number one, he's kind of a little bit of an asshole sometimes, but like a likable asshole because he's kind of just like a truth teller, and I like it.
I agree. I'm with you. I have no disagreements. I think to me, it doesn't take much of a rocket when I kind of thought of this.
Why hasn't anybody given him a rocket before? That's
he's been champion before.
Well, see, He's been champion. I haven't
before.
seen him as champion, so I'd like to see him there again.
Yeah, but he's been champion before, and I said, I think there had to be something with Vince McMahon not liking his weight or something like that, which I think is so fucking stupid. Because sometimes being heavy and then being like as physically gifted as he is makes you more impressive. Yeah, I mean, he moves around the ring impressively. All right, so my choices.
Okay.
If I was strapping a rock, I'm going a little farther down the roster. I'm not. I think that it would be exciting to have Tommaso Ciampa return randomly and win a world title. And just let's strap the rocket to Tommaso Ciampa and let's just throw him in there and see what he can do. I think there's a lot to like about him. I think he has a good look. He's a little bit small. I get it. But wrestlers are small these days. I'm critical of small wrestlers, but that's just what's happening. I can't control the size of people and what the crowd likes. So no, I mean, I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying that, like, I think really gone are the days of my mentality of like, you have to be a gladiator to be a wrestler. Because if that was the truth, right? Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, those guys should all be world champion and the little guys should never have a chance. But I think that Tommaso Ciampa makes sense given an opportunity like that. I thought something cool would have been a faction with Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Dexter Lumis, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, all of the kind of old NXT black and gold.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Coming back together and Tommaso leading that group and becoming champion would be fun. But most importantly, the person I think that you could strap a rocket to right now and he would probably take the ball and run with it and become a major star is LA Knight.
I knew you were going to say that.
But I just, what's missing? Like, talk to me about what is missing when you talk about the elements of a superstar. You talk about him, right? What is not in his repertoire? He can talk on a fucking microphone as good or better.
He's got the body. He's got the look. I don't know how old he is. He does look old, but I don't know how old. I don't like to judge people's age. I never know how old people are anymore.
I'm very bad about in wrestling. It's not. I come from the basketball background where, like, once you're in your 30s, you're considered over the hill. In wrestling, a lot of people don't hit their peak until they're 40. So I overreact to that.
Old, like, aren't old. There's that one NXT girl that I thought was like in her late 30s, almost 40s, and she's not.
Yeah, I
won't
agree.
name her name.
Let's look at. You can name names.
No, I'm not gonna be that. I'm not gonna do that.
Let's see. He's 40.
40,
so he's
okay.
40 years old.
But look at how old all the other wrestlers are. He's like right there with them, so it's okay.
But to me, that's even more of a reason to strap the rocket on his back at 40 years old and see what he can do. But I'm talking about when you break down LA Knight and you look at him from like beginning. I don't remember the exact list, but I had a list of things that I said made a likable wrestler, and it was size. Mm-hmm. He's decently sized. He's at least muscular enough to pass the size test.
Gimmick was one of them.
Gimmick. He's a walking gimmick. Like, he is the Rock light. He is kind of a stone cold. Everything you can tell, he's the embodiment of like growing up watching wrestling. He took all of that to heart and created a character. Mm-hmm. He if this makes sense, he's kind of the Pat McAfee in the ring.
No, I get it. You're constantly entertained.
Did you know? Side note, did you know that he did all of the entrances and motion capturing for like WWE 2K pre like 22?
No.
So every wrestler's entrance that you see in the game, I don't know if he did the women. That'd be an interesting question to find out. But I know all the men, he did the Rock's entrance. He did like Stone Cold's entrance. He did R-Truth.
So they didn't actually do them themselves?
No. He went in and did the motion capture for every wrestler.
Crazy. That's awesome.
But that just shows you.
It would be interesting if he did the women's though too.
I don't think he did. I'm gonna guess
it would be fun.
It would be hilarious if he did.
But I mean, so certain people have a certain finesse where they can just sort of move, and he definitely embodies that. And you know, you said that people don't like him, but like
I don't know who doesn't like him. I mean, I don't know that I'd say.
Well, you told me one time like people said that he tries to like like The Rock or something.
Okay. So the IWC has a little bit of like, there's like an ongoing thing where they say he's too like, he's mimicking The Rock or he's mimicking Stone Cold. But I don't see that as bad because, and first off, I see a little bit of The Rock with like a vest and, you know, kind of the way he holds.
I didn't have experience of those wrestlers. So to me, he is a brand new wrestler. It's exciting. It's fun. It's entertaining.
And that's why that always works, right? Because it's always the people who are holding on to something old that don't want to see the refresh of it. But I like, as far as size goes, he's fine. As far as microphone skills goes, he's beyond fine. When I see him in the ring, I don't see a problem with him. I don't know what it was. So there had to be something when he came from NXT to WWE. Once again, Vince McMahon, the great holy man of judging talent, thought he needs to be a manager. And it's like, why take the guy with all that charisma that's very likable? Why make him a manager of the Maximum Male Models? Which I will say he did a good job.
Yeah, I liked him. We look forward to it.
It was enjoyable. It was stupid as fuck, but it was enjoyable. And when he flipped back, I almost think it was a good way for him to flip back into the LA Knight character and get people introduced, because if you didn't watch NXT, you don't know who LA Knight is. And so it was this easier transition into who this guy is.
Because I didn't know who LA Knight was. And the Maximum Male Models thing got me interested. And so there are some times that they'll push new talent on us and I'm like, who is that? And you're like, oh, they were in NXT, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
Now I hope he's done with Bray Wyatt. I hope coming out of Royal Rumble that was it, because I feel like that the blow off to that was extremely stupid, and it's time to get him out and get him in something better than being a puppet for Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt can use anybody. I thought the little tease they did on SmackDown was weird, coming out of like a Royal Rumble that needed answers, because you had all of the fucking puppets that were above Uncle Howdy and Uncle Howdy jumping off onto LA Knight. We got no update on, like, LA Knight was essentially set on fire in some box on top of the ring. And so hopefully they do a better job. But I'm hoping that like LA Knight gets 2 weeks off to kind of cool down, and then he shows up and he's involved in something else that isn't Bray Wyatt related. Because I do think like that's the guy though. I think that is in all of WWE the guy you could strap a rocket to right now. And you talk about like not missing a beat. That's my guy.
All right.